The pneumatic sander is basically just an airbag. If I were to take off this canvas covering, you would find a nice big rubber tube here, which you fill with air at various pressures in order to conform, because it is spongy. As you can see, it will conform to a shape. The neat thing about this, I mean, once you get used to using this, these are absolutely great, is you can blend both inside and outside surfaces. Let me show you a propeller that Drew made. This was for our 1903 Wright Flyer. This is the propeller that finally got it off the ground. Actually, there was another one too, but this is one of them. But you'll notice that that this is all very smooth, nicely blended surfaces. We Drew hand carved this out with a draw knife and a thing called a scorp. When you get this done, there are a lot of lines, and you want to make this aerodynamic. And so Drew used the pneumatic sander in order to blend these curves together. Towards the tip, he used more air pressure where the curve has a larger diameter. Down here near the hub, he used less air pressure where you have much smaller diameters. This allowed less air pressure allows the sander to conform to a much smaller radius. Now, in order to use the sander, you first of all have to pump it full of air. You don't need that great big old air pump that I showed you. Really, all you need is a little bicycle pump. But there is a problem. This pneumatic sander was designed back in the days when you had those nice little screw-on ends for your bicycle pumps, and you could just screw it right on the end of this, and then holding the dogs back here. No, buddy. You could pump the air and then just unscrew it. Unfortunately, now all these bicycle pumps put these big, huge plastic nozzles on the end, and you are expected to clamp them on. Well, you can't even fit them on anymore past the nylon hubs. Even if I were to remove the nylon hub, and they just unscrew like this, okay? If I were to remove the nylon hub and get that on there, for some reason, these things just do not make it, okay? If you're going to use a bicycle pump, you need to get yourself what is called a valve extension, and then the bicycle pump will work. But it's not going to work by itself. If you don't want to use the valve extension and you just want to use the air that's available in your shop, all you have to do is take off. I have it arranged so that I take off the dead center rather than the live center, and there's a reason for this. Both of these centers are friction fit into this drum. What I have done is I have sanded out the inside of this aluminum end, so that this end, the live center end or dead center end, fits easily and can be easily unscrewed and rescrewed. The drive center, which is tight in there, remains nice and tight, and that by doing so, it doesn't interfere with the action of the drum sander and cause the hub to slip. But anyway, I've got this right now so that you can easily unscrew the dead center. That's the center with the ring, not the cross. Sneak over here to the they're not looking. Okay, good. Sneak over here and put a little air in before the dogs know I've done it. There we go. All right. No, you don't. No. All right. Now, as you can see, bud. As you can see, there's quite a bit of pressure in here right now, and without the confining sleeve, I could actually blow this up if I had put too much pressure in it. But I wanted to show you that you can get quite a bit of air pressure in there, and then you slowly let it out to where you need it. Now this time I'm going to put the sleeve on. We have 4 different grits for these sleeves, and it just slides right on the unpressurized drum, and there we go. Now, at this point, we've got more than enough air pressure in here. Let's go over to the Shopsmith. I've set this up in the lathe mode, and this is what I mean when I was referring to the dead center and the drive center. I was referring to the dead center on the lathe and the drive center on this. Now, I would suggest, your Shopsmith comes to you with a dead center. And in order to use the dead center with wood, of course, you have to keep it waxed up. But we do sell something called a live center, which has a bearing in there that spins freely, and you don't have to wax it. I would suggest that if you're going to use this, especially if you're going to use it for long periods of time, you get the live center. You absolutely need this, or you're going to burn up the nylon eventually. So let's see. This center goes right there. The drive center goes right here. Whoop! I nearly forgot something. All right. This is important. It's not so important with this. This wouldn't have mattered. But when changing an accessory, as some of you have commented on the forum, I don't always turn the machine down to its lowest common denominator speed when I'm working. It's really not necessary as long as you have good electrical wiring, which I obviously don't, as you just saw evidence of. But you must be very careful, especially when you attach things like the bandsaw, belt sanders, that this thing is not cranked up to warp Z, so that you turn it on and immediately the tires fly off the wheels of the bandsaw, or the belt sander tears the belts apart. Let's turn that down to disc sand. And put that on. A little bit of tension there, doesn't take a whole lot. I never squeeze this thing as tight as, say, I would squeeze a wood turning. But there it is, ready to use. Now, let's find something to sand. This looks good. It needs to be refinished anyway. This rawhide mallet. There's this tag that is so old there's not even any writing left on it. But anyway, this is a fairly small radius, and we want this to conform to it. Now I can press fairly hard and get it to conform. Look how fast that works, and I can get a fairly good sand there. But if I need to, I can also let out a little bit more air. Not without upsetting dogs, however. And get it to conform a little bit more easily. I wish there was a way for us to have some feel-o-vision here now, and you could feel both sides. The side that I did with the high air pressure, you can definitely feel the ridges in there where I sanded. The side that I did with the low air pressure is much, much smoother. It's much better blended. And that's the advantage of this pneumatic sander. You can adjust the pressure inside the sander, get it to where you're conforming to this, and the blending is going on very nicely. So that's our pneumatic drum sander. If you have any questions, I'm going to turn you over to Drew here for a minute while I drag in our 1964 Shopsmith, and in just a few minutes we'll begin talking about what you need to do if you're going to purchase a used Shopsmith. If you have any questions about cove sanding, cove cutting, the cutting odd shapes, or the pneumatic drum sander, send them on.